Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. All right, no matter what age or stage of life you're in, it is never too early or too late to invest. People may be thinking, well, what is investing? Well, investing is simply putting your money into something with the expectation that it's going to increase over time and you're gonna make more money over a period of time. That's what it is. So today I wanna focus on some of the basics of investing. And at the end of this video, we're gonna touch on retirement specifically. So listen, sit down, get comfortable, because this video is for you to learn, again, these basic principles when it comes to this big umbrella of investing. So no more just nodding your head and smiling when people talk about the market and all of this. No, you are actually going to learn. I want you to know what makes up this world of investing. So we're gonna go over some basic investing terms, but the first thing I want you to know is this. Taking control of your finances is more about behavior than math, which means consistency over time is key to building wealth. Building wealth is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And it is so hard because in our world today, we're like, we want it right now. Like, I wanna put money, I wanna see, I wanna go, I wanna boom, boom, boom. Millionaires out there that have built wealth over a long period of time are stable, consistent, and that is key. But also, the second thing you need to know is that today matters. So the earlier you can start investing, the better off you're going to be. That's why I want you to be completely out of debt and have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in an emergency fund. So what this does is this gives you a really solid foundation, this position to be in financially, so you can start investing. Because again, if you have an emergency come up and you need cash, but all your money is, you're investing all this money, it's not gonna help you in the moment. So I want you to have that solid financial foundation, and then we're gonna launch into investing. So let's talk about some terms you may have heard out there. Let's start off with, what does it mean to buy stock in a company? Well, when you buy stock, you actually become a part owner of a company. Congratulations. So you can think of stocks as a very small piece of the company. So the company takes the money that you give them and they use that money to grow and produce more profit as a company. So buying single stocks is just putting all of your money into a single stock, into one company. But it's kind of risky to do that, especially for your retirement, because that means all of your eggs are in one basket. And if that one company doesn't do well, that means everything doesn't do well. So you really want things balanced and diversified, which we're gonna talk about in a minute. But there's 2 main ways that you can make money through stocks. The first is through dividends. So think of this as like profit sharing for companies and shareholders. If the company does well and it makes a profit, they may pay their shareholders out of that profit. It's like splitting up a pie and giving everyone a slice. Now, not all stocks or companies do this, but some do, and that profit will just go into your investment fund. Another way that you can make money is if you buy a stock and you wait for its value to increase and the company grows, becomes more profitable, and their stock, again, increases their value over time, which means your stock is now worth a whole lot more than what you originally paid for it, and you sell it up here, you make some money. Isn't that great? So you may be thinking, okay, well, how does my money grow when I'm investing? This is called compound interest. It's a beautiful thing. So what happens is, let's just, as an example, say you bought $100 worth of Apple stock. And then say you make about 10% on that. Well, you're gonna grow that stock to $110. And then from there, let's say it makes 20% the next year. That means you make 20%, not just on the 100 you put in, but on the $110 that it grew to. And then you're gonna make money on that 20%, and you're gonna get more of a total there. And then the next year, let's say it makes 12%. Well, you're gonna make money on 12% of this big chunk up here, not the $100 you started on. So you're making money on the money you've already made, if that makes sense. It's like this mathematical explosion when you go over a long period of time, because again, you're making money not just on the money you put in, but on the money that's made, and it keeps going year after year after year. It's a beautiful thing. That's why we like to say, start early, so you can start that growth as early as possible, because when you see it, you can get an Excel sheet out and have some fun with it. You're like, oh my gosh, it's pretty amazing. You may be asking yourself as well, Rachel, I've heard about the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ. Like, what are these things? Okay, well, what these things all are indexes that give you a quick summary of how the market's doing. So when you think of an index, think about a measuring stick, and it helps you see whether the market is growing or declining. Now, specifically, the S&P 500 is an index that mirrors how the 500 largest publicly traded companies are performing. So the companies that make up the S&P 500 are diversified and range from healthcare to tech to real estate. But again, it's the 500 largest companies. And you'll recognize names like Apple or Google, Johnson & Johnson. So people look at the S&P 500 as to see the single best gauge of the market. Okay, now the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or you'll hear the Dow Jones or the Dow, that monitors 30 big companies like Apple, Disney, Caterpillar, and Coca-Cola. The NASDAQ follows over 3,300 stocks from tech companies like Zoom or Facebook, Amazon, Netflix. So when you hear the Dow is up or the NASDAQ is down, you can get a pulse on how the major companies in our country are performing. Another question I get a lot is, Rachel, what are index funds? Well, index funds are a type of investment designed to mirror the performance of the stock market or a particular index, or that ruler, of the market. So for example, let's say you've invested in an S&P 500 index fund. You'll be using your money to buy little pieces of all 500 companies that index represents. So it is balanced and it is diversified. It is spread out. It's not one thing. Remember, it's spread out. Diversification, huge. And you can expect the same rate of return or profits that the S&P 500 produces, rain or shine. So index funds have a couple of advantages. They're naturally diversified. Like we said, not all your eggs are in one basket, but also they tend to have lower expense ratios. But there are some disadvantages. So they are passive investments, meaning you don't have a professional managing the account. So basically your investments are just on autopilot. And also index funds predictably follow the market, but they never beat the market. So if you want to maximize your profits, you should invest in mutual funds. So what are mutual funds? Well, like I said before, when you buy stocks from company, you have partial ownership in that stock. So instead of just buying from Apple or just buying from Caterpillar, you want to buy from a lot of different companies. So a mutual fund is 90 to 200 companies in this fund. And this is where I want you to invest your retirement specifically. Because with mutual funds, investors, again, they pull all their money to buy all different kinds of stocks. So you're very, very diversified. And when you invest your money, it's great because you're gonna have a fund manager that oversees it and is looking at everything. So if one stock does not great, and it's like, oh no, so bad. Blockbuster, oh no, going down. But Netflix is going up, then it's okay, it's good, it's equaling out. Again, you want that diversification. And mutual funds, again, are managed by a professional, so it keeps you confident that you have a pro in your corner helping you. Today, we're talking about things we need to stop wasting $20 on. Baby shoes. They're babies. They're not walking around. Don't buy shoes for them. Lottery tickets. Yeah, the Powerball jackpot. You got 1 in 292 million chances of winning, so don't waste your money. An Olaf waffle maker. I mean, pretty dang cute. I know. And the results? Adorable, but let it go. Wipe warmers. Yeah, the baby's gonna survive. Keep your $20. Clothes for your pets. I mean, super cute, fabulous, bougie, all the things, but you don't need to spend $20 on it. Guys, these things are totally unnecessary. What I do need to make sure I'm taking care of are these guys. I remember when Winston and I first got married and we talked about life insurance. Honestly, it was easy for us to talk about because we wanted to keep each other covered in case the worst were to ever happen. That's why we have term life insurance through Zander INSURANCE. It's $20 to $30 a month that I am more than happy to spend. Zander shops the top-rated term life insurance companies to make sure that they find you the best rates for the coverage that your family needs. You can have the same peace of mind that we have. So go to Zander.com to get started today. Don't waste any more time. Okay, let's jump back to index funds for a minute. So remember, index funds are passive investments that follow the index like the S&P 500. So historically speaking, the S&P won't give you as much bang of your buck as a good mutual fund. So from 2009 to 2019, the S&P 500 return was just under 14%. So not bad, but it still doesn't keep pace with growth stock mutual funds. Now, even in a crazy year like 2019, the S&P 500 return was a little bit better than 31%, which is freaking insane. Wow, growth stock mutual funds were returning more like 40%. Yeah, 40% people, the return. So when I use 12% as my example sometimes, when I talk about investing, I was like, oh, where do you get 12%? Let's go back to 2019, shall we? It was freaking insane. So remember that. I still can't believe it was 40% in 2019. Just sounds crazy, but it's true. I actually had someone double check it when my team pulled the numbers. I was like, hey, let's make sure this is true. And it was. I still just all you investment people out there are gonna be like, what? I know, just insane. Okay, now the question I get a lot too is, do I need someone managing my investments for me? I always recommend getting people in your corner in life that know what they're doing, especially if it's about a topic that's kind of intimidating and kind of hard to grasp sometimes. So I always think of things like taxes or insurance or real estate, investing. I put this under that umbrella because while I can know the basics and you still need to understand what you're putting your money in, it's very important. These people are in these industries and they breathe in and out all day the details of this stuff, you guys. So having someone that does this day in and day out, I think is really, really smart. So I always recommend getting a SmartVestor Pro in your area. And a SmartVestor Pro is gonna be able to answer all of your questions, big or small, and help you manage your investments. It's the best way to go because as you can see, there's a lot to know about investing and I don't want you in the dark or confused about your investments. A pro will always sit down and help guide you to make the best decisions possible. So for more information on a SmartVestor Pro, go to ramseysolutions.com. Another question I get is, what is the best way to invest for retirement? Ding, 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 retirement investing. This is what I wanted to get to. Are you ready for this? Again, you are out of debt with a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Then we're going to invest 15% of your income into retirement. So the company you work for may offer a 401k program, and a 401k is an investment vehicle that allows you to put money into mutual funds. So think of your 401k as a grocery bag, and the mutual funds are the food inside of that bag. It's just kind of another way to group them, if you will. And a great thing about a 401k is that you get a big tax advantage. So with a traditional 401k, you don't pay taxes until after you take it out to retire. That means the money that is growing in that 401k until you retire, including the portion that you'll eventually owe in taxes. Another type of 401k is called a Roth. And with this one, you're gonna pay taxes now, but you get to take out all of that money at retirement tax-free. Oh, we love Roths around here. Yes. So that means you get the benefit of your money compounding again and not having to pay taxes on the growth. It's pretty amazing. Now, if your company offers that match, whether it's traditional or Roth, you always want to take that match first. So let's say they match up to 4% of your contribution. You want to go ahead and take that match. And then once that is done, then the next option is a Roth IRA. And you can do this with or without an employer. So you're going to want to contribute to your Roth IRA again after you do the match of the 401k. And I want you to fund your Roth IRA as much as possible. So there is a limit. So once you hit that limit, if you have more money or haven't hit the 15% of your income, then you can go back and fund money in the 401k. So again, let's go over that. You want to take the 401k match first, then hop over to a Roth IRA, fund as much as that as possible until you've hit your 15%. If you've funded it all the way up to the max you can put in, if you've not hit your 15% of your income, go back to the 401k until you hit the 15%. That 15% is still so key. And another side question, again, for all you nerds out there, I hear people say, well, if I put in 4% and they match 4%, is that 8% of my 15%? No, it's whatever money you contribute, okay? So 4% as an example there, Roth IRA, back to the 401k. Are you still there, people? Are you still with me? I know this is so much information, but I hope it helps you, because again, investing is so important to your financial future. And the earlier you start, you guys, all of you on baby steps 1, 2, and 3, keep moving, keep going, because then you get the benefits of investing and the compound interest we've been talking about. But if you have more questions specifically about your situation, then get in touch with one of our SmartVestor pros. Again, go to RamseySolutions.com. And for all of you guys out there, learn about this subject. Don't be one of those people at your next party and be like, oh yeah, the stock. No, you know what a stock is. You're a little bit of an owner in a company. When you buy stock, you knew that because you watched the video. It's amazing. So remember to take control of your money, you guys. And part of that is investing and create a life you love.